You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the Artistic Director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Before we jump in, if acting is the thing that you just simply cannot stop thinking about, if you've been working so hard, showing up to auditions, but still not getting cast as often as you know you could, it's probably not because you're not good enough. It's because you are overthinking. I have seen so many talented, super talented, new and early career actors hold themselves back by living in the head instead of in the moment. And the truth is, it is fixable. And that's why I created the Method Actor Circle, an online membership for new and early career actors who are deadly serious about building real, grounded, castable performances. Inside the Method Actor Circle, you'll get monthly method acting classes, audition coaching, monologue ebooks, business of acting classes, and so much more. And right now, you can try it for a full month for £1 using the code MAC1. So if you're ready to stop overthinking and finally own the stage and set, this is your moment. Head over to the Method Actor Circle at bit.ly/the Method Actor Circle and use code MAC1 to get started. So that link again is bit.ly/the Method Actor Circle, or click underneath where you press play and let's get you cast. I am so excited about today's episode. I am going to be exploring with you the 7 bad acting habits to avoid to allow you to dive deeper into the character and start getting cast more often, and also give the performances that you feel really, really good about. So I've been coaching actors for almost 15 years, and these 7 bad acting habits crop up time and time again in both new and early career actors, and they fall into them when they haven't used one method acting exercise that I'm going to share with you a little bit later on in the episode. And when I reveal what that method acting exercise is, it will all make sense as to why they fall into these 7 bad acting habits. And as I'm going through the list, I want you to start to make a note or make a mental note and recognise which ones you're falling into. If you're new, thank you so much for finding us. It's so exciting to have you here. And if you're a regular listener, thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely love recording these episodes for you. And I love it even more when you come across to our Instagram page, which is at Standby Method Acting Studio, and you share with me your big takeaways from each episode. And I love it even more when you share them to your stories and pass these episodes on to other actors, because the stuff that I'm sharing with you in each episode really made a huge difference for me with my own acting career. I originally trained at drama school, and I came out of drama school a very unconfident actor. I didn't get signed by any agents, no casting directors were interested in me, and I was actually doing a lot of these bad acting habits. And then when I found method acting, things started to change for me, and they started to change very quickly. I started to understand acting on a deeper level, and when I understood it, I could then apply the exercises which allowed me to immerse deeper into the character and feel really confident in what I was doing, like I knew what I was doing. So when we're defaulting into these 7 bad acting habits, usually it's because we feel a little bit lost with the character or a little bit lost with the craft. Now, you don't need to worry, because as I said, I'm going to share with you the 1 key method acting exercise that you need to be using, which will start to erase these bad acting habits. So I'm going to list them first, and then I'm going to explain what happens with them. And then I'll share with you the method acting exercise that you need to be using before all scene work. And that includes stage, set, auditions. Because once you start to dive into this method acting exercise, you will be increasing your stage presence, increasing your character connection, increasing your confidence, and increasing your ability to make bold character choices, which ultimately is what's going to make you stand out early on in your acting career. So what are these 7 bad acting habits then? The first one is statue acting. The second one is demonstrating. The third one is parroting lines. The fourth one is voice acting. The fifth one is breathing. I'll come back to that. I don't want you to stop breathing, but there's a particular type of breathing that you're doing. The sixth one is Professor Clump acting. I'll come back to them all so you understand what I mean by Professor Clump acting. And the seventh one is puppet acting. So statue acting then, what is it? It's when 2 actors stand opposite each other in a scene and they literally just say the lines to each other. They don't do anything else. They're rooted in one spot. I call it statue acting because they do look like statues. They might move their arms from time to time when the scene starts getting a little bit more explosive or their emotions are getting a little bit more heightened, but ultimately they're not doing anything. They're just standing opposite each other. That's not good. And the reason it's not good is because acting is a visual art. Characters are always doing something. The second bad acting habit is demonstrating. So demonstrating is feigning emotions. It's pretending to feel something and showing it through your body. So for example, you might have a scene where you're cold, and to show that you're cold and a little bit annoyed with how cold it is, you'll start rubbing your arms, but it doesn't mean you're genuinely feeling the cold or the frustration of it. Or it might be that you're in a scene where it's supposed to be boiling hot, it's stifling, and you're getting really, really tired. So you start showing through your body that it's hot and that you're tired and pretending. And it might be that you're wafting your face a lot, but you know that you don't really feel tired and you don't really feel hot. And of course, you can do that with emotions, all of the spectrum of emotions, but it is simply not genuinely connecting. Now, usually when an actor is quite new, quite early on in their career, the demonstrating will fall into big shouty scenes. So like really pushing and forcing emotions out. We don't want to do that because it's not going to land with the audience and we know it's fake. And it doesn't matter how good it appears to be, it's always going to be fake and we will always know it and it doesn't make us feel good about our acting. The third bad acting habit is parroting lines. So that means you learn them in a pattern and you deliver them the exact same way each and every time you're delivering the scene. So for example, if we take the line, "Hi, how are you?" It might be that you've rehearsed it saying it in this way, "Hi, how are you?" And then every time it comes to the scene, you're going, "Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?" And you can't get away from that pattern because you've ingrained it and embedded it so deeply that it's almost like singing happy birthday and trying to change the rhythm of that. So parroting lines is simply getting stuck in a repeated way of saying them each and every time. And it means you're not listening. You're not listening to your scene partner. It means you're not present in the moment. You are simply just going through the lines by going through the motions. Again, it's fake acting. The fourth bad acting habit is voice acting. And what I mean by voice acting is you're trying to put all of the emotion and all of the energy and all of the truth into your voice and make the scene sound real, but you're not doing anything. Again, this is not good because, as I've said in point 1 with statue acting, which is very, very similar to voice acting, acting is a visual art. Characters are always doing something. They're always engaged in some behaviour that's taking their attention, even when they're talking. The fifth bad acting habit is breathing. And as I said when I was reading through these, I don't want you to stop breathing. Please do breathe. Otherwise, it's going to be a very different scene. But what I mean by this is you're taking a breath or making a particular breathy sound between lines. And I'm going to share with you what that sound is. But it's to try and feel emotions. And it's not a good technique. It is not a technique to get you connected to your emotions. So the breathing sound is this, huh, huh, huh. It's that kind of sound. Actors do it between lines. It's something I see a lot. So if you know you do that, get rid of it. Get rid of it because it makes the scene very, very muddy. It lacks clarity. And what the audience hear is the breathing over the line and over what's going on. And if you're not aware of it, start to become aware and notice whether you're doing this or not. Then the sixth bad acting habit is Professor Clump acting. Again, I said I'd come back to what this is. So Professor Clump acting is when you become aware of your hands and you don't know what to do with them. The reason I call it Professor Clump acting is because it's almost like when he's in the scene in the car, this is the one that springs to my mind, and his arms and his hands start inflating and becoming really, really big. It's almost like that happens to us as actors, like our arms become such a big focal point. They're dangling down beside us and we just don't know what to do with them. All of a sudden we've become aware we've got arms and now they don't move because they're just there. But what do we do with them? And we start overthinking this. And it's not great because then we're no longer present in the scene. We're not immersed in the character. We're simply just aware that we've got arms. And we know we've always had arms, but they've just seemed to have moved naturally and in response to things previously. But now we're on stage or set. It's like, wow, what do we do with them? And then the seventh bad acting habit is puppet acting. So puppet acting is simply doing everything your director says and not coming up with any choices yourself. You're a puppet because you're relying on the director, whether this is conscious or not, to tell you what to do. And it's because you don't really know the character or you're not confident enough in doing the thing that you really want to do. Like you've got lots of ideas inside, but you're holding back on them. So each one of these comes from a lack of confidence, and that lack of confidence results in a little bit of overthinking. Like, oh, should I do this? Or the overthinking can be awareness of what you're doing, but then still not trying the thing that you really want to try in the scene. Now, if you begin every single scene with the method's chair relaxation, it's going to erase these traits, these bad acting habits, and because it's getting you into a complete state of presence, and it's going to release the anxiety and the overthinking out of your body. Overthinking in acting is known as mental tension, or an awareness, a hyper-awareness of yourself on stage or on set or in the scene is mental tension. Any of these things, whether it's overthinking what you're doing, like, am I good enough? Did I do that right? Did I say that line right? Or a hyper-awareness of your arms or hands, or a sort of disassociation, almost seeing yourself from a bird's eye view outside of the scene. This is all mental tension. And what happens is you get sucked into a loop of anxiety because the more you become aware mentally of these things, the more anxiety you produce in your body, and the two feed each other. So you are never present in the scene, and you are forcing and faking your way to the end of the scene. And they don't lead to performances that get you cast. They instead lead to you getting overlooked, and also you not feeling great about your work either. So you must start every single scene with the method's chair relaxation, because as I've already said, it releases all of that anxiety out of your body. It gets you into a state of presence so you can't overthink, and it gets you super focused on the character and being in the character and living through them truthfully. We go through this exercise inside of the Method Actor Circle. We've got loads of pre-recorded classes in our portal that you can follow along with, a bit like following along with a workout. And we also have monthly live classes as well. You can trial the Method Actor Circle for 1 full month and unlock full access to everything in there, all the monologue ebooks, the business of acting workshops, the audition technique classes, the character development classes. You can access all of that for £1 for a full month. And all you need to do is go to bit.ly/the Method Actor Circle and use the code MAC1. I hope you have learnt something from this episode. I hope you feel a little bit more aware of where you may be holding yourself back, because self-awareness is the key, is the first step to growth. See you in the next episode. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.